All right, hey there guys, happy Tuesday night. We are live talking about the weather. We have a cold front on the way. It's not going to be very strong. It'll be pushing through sometime Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. And what that will do is spark off a chance for rain, also bring some cooler air. Later this week, mostly in the mornings and the afternoons, we'll still be trending in the 90s, a little bit cooler. Usually it's this time of year, late September, early October, when fronts start to really frequently move through. And they gradually get stronger and stronger. Now, again, the one that moves through tomorrow, about 2 and 3 o'clock, it'll be a little breezy. It'll push out most of the humidity by this time tomorrow night, so it'll feel a lot better. And it'll also produce a small chance at an isolated shower and storm tomorrow afternoon. Again, after lunchtime through about 5 and 6, there's another chance for rain as this frontal boundary moves through. If you have any questions about the forecast, feel free to comment down below. Join the conversation. We're talking all things weather here on KENS 5 this evening. Today's numbers were very summer-like. We had a high of 96 degrees. It was so hot today, almost a full 10 degrees above average. Normal is 88. That's where we should be stopping at this point in the year, at this point in September. Same thing with our morning low. We should be bottoming out at 67 in the morning and highs in the 88, 89 region. But instead, we were at 75 in the morning and 96 in the afternoon. So it was just a summer-like day for the first Tuesday of fall. It's still fall. It's fall outside. But it doesn't feel like it, right? Now, again, here's the timing of the front, about 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperature tomorrow about 94, Thursday about 90, and then Friday 92. So again, only shaving off a few degrees in the afternoons. It's not going to be a significant cool down. The most noticeable difference will be in the early mornings and late nights. So going out for a walk, going out for a run, getting the kids ready for school in the morning. That's when you'll notice the temperature difference. These past few days, middle 70s, right, for overnight lows by Thursday morning, about 64, 65, which is closer to normal. And then Friday morning, about 63. So cooling off about 5 to 7 to 8 degrees from where we are now compared to our average high and our average low. And then it also pushes all the cloud cover. So Thursday, Friday, even this weekend, it's clear, it's sunny. And I would say by Saturday and Sunday, we are rebounding in temperatures pretty fast. Eric, what about what time will we feel a change? Tomorrow probably about 93, and then the front moves through around 2 and 3 o'clock. You'll notice a breeze, but in terms of feeling a difference, I would probably say not until late at night, because it's still going to be hot tomorrow. Lower to middle 90s, sunny with a small chance at a shower storm. But again, the noticeable difference is late at night and in the morning hours. But the technical passage of the front, probably by about 2 and 3 o'clock, you'll notice a northerly wind. It'll be a little breezy, less humid. That's probably the differences you'll feel tomorrow afternoon. But again, tomorrow night and Thursday morning is when you'll feel the temperature swing, and that's what we like to see. Good evening, Paul. Nice to see you ready for cooler weather. Yeah, Paul, we all are. I mean, it's fall. We were waiting for a strong cold front. Again, this one's not going to be overly strong. It's going to be a weak cold front, just to put emphasis on that. But again, it's going to drop the humidity and just shave off a few degrees in the afternoons and mornings, and something is better than nothing. Temperature right now, 89 in the city, 89 at Helotes, 90 one out farther east. You can see 91 at Stinson, 93 at Lackland, still pretty warm at 8:30 at night. Temperature at 90 at Del Rio. We have lower 80s in the hill country, so a pretty decent temperature swing between the city at 89 and 84 in Kerrville across Kerr County and Gillespie County. Now, we saw a couple of storms up farther north earlier today. Now some of them are drifting farther south into Kerr County, Bandera County. Extremely isolated, but they are moving towards Bandera. So if you're watching anywhere from Bandera, maybe east of Lakey, northwest of Lake Hills, just a couple of isolated downpours moving towards the south. Let's see if I can just toggle on. Give me a second. Let's see if we can just stop the clock. And then let's do this. Let's do now, and then go to the next slide. And then we're going to put on sweeping radar. It'll give us a better and more accurate look at what's happening outside. So that's sweeping radar. So you can see in rural parts of Bandera County, south of Kerr County, again, west of Texas 16, this is north of Utopia, just a brief downpour in this part of Bandera County. And just to put some movement on it, let's just save this real quick, and we'll start it right over again, and we'll put the last 2 hours on. Perfect. So yeah. Weak cold front. Does that cold front even live? Yeah, I mean, it could, and typically like in November, they are a lot stronger, right? I mean, they're packing more of a punch. They drop the temperatures a lot faster in October and November. But when you get fronts in September, they're really weak. They just drop it by a few degrees. So it's just typical this time of year. We get excited for cold fronts, but again, between now and October 1st, they don't really do much in regarding temperatures. It's just how historically it happens here in South Texas. But again, there's that rain in Bandera County, south of Kerrville. This is the last 2 hours. So I would say heads up for maybe Bandera, Utopia. A lot of this will start to gradually wane out and weaken probably over the next 2 to 3 hours. But I would say through 10 and 11 and even towards midnight, still small chances for rain. As you can see, there's more showers and more moisture available up towards the north, right? I mean, look at Austin. They're getting a pretty good downpour on the north side of Austin, between there and Round Rock and east of Lake Travis. So a lot of moisture is moving in from the north and pushing farther south. So that's why we have a chance for seeing more isolated showers through at least 11 and midnight tonight. So is it going to be everywhere? No, but at least the chance is there. And we have some folks cashing in on some much needed rain. Tomorrow's forecast, high near 94. There will be another round of some isolated showers between 1 and 5 o'clock as that front pushes through. Now, based on the latest guidance, it's hinting mostly to the south tomorrow. So again, tonight through 12 a.m., midnight, maybe a few showers across the hill country, some of which moving towards San Antonio. Let's stop the clock right here. So ahead of that frontal boundary, you can see between here, Floresville, Atascosa County, Pearsall, for example, there will be a higher chance in a more favorable environment for more widely scattered showers. And big reason for that is the farther southeast you go, you run into the Gulf of Mexico, the humidity's higher. And typically between here and Corpus and Bay City, Houston, Galveston, they just have a more humid environment, and that can be all you need for touching off more rain. So again, there's a small chance we see a stray shower between lunch and 3 as this front drops through. But most of the rain, any storm activity forming towards George West, Beeville, Victoria tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. So that's something to watch the radar out for tomorrow, especially if you're watching south of the city. Pleasanton, Floresville, George West, Pearsall, areas south of Highway 90. And then watch what happens early Thursday morning. Models have been going back and forth on just kind of the temperature forecast and the timeline. We're forecasting a low of about 64 to 65. A couple weeks ago, it got a little cooler with that first burst of cooler air earlier in the month, but this one won't be as strong as that one, but it will drop temperatures a few degrees. So Thursday morning, middle to lower 60s. There will be a few areas in the hill country, like towards Kerrville, Comfort, Fredericksburg, that may drop to about 58 to 59. So a light chill on the air Thursday morning, and I would say probably the same thing Friday morning. And that's the most noticeable difference you'll see in the next several days. The high temperatures in the afternoons, they don't budge all that much, maybe cooling down by 1, 2, 3 degrees. That's about it, but we're still bottom line in the 90s for the next 4 to 5 days through the weekend. But the morning temperatures, we go from 75 to about 65, so a noticeable difference. And 64, 65 is a lot closer to average, so that's a lot better than where we've been, because these last several mornings have been humid, they've been tropical, they've been very warm, because the average low is like 68, 67, so seeing a front move through is just making it feel more normal for late September. So it's not really giving us a cooler, colder air mass, but it is dropping temperatures to where they need to be this time of year. 88 to 90 in the afternoons and the mid to upper 60s in the mornings with lower humidity. So again, noticeable difference Thursday morning, early Friday, early Saturday, lower to middle 60s, maybe some upper 50s across to the Texas Hill Country, and just nicer weather at least for a few days. By the weekend, it rebounds pretty quickly here in San Antonio. Don't believe it. It's hot until October. Yeah, Mary, I know. Historically, I've seen falls start out with like hundreds, 90s. We started fall back on Sunday, and it doesn't really consistently cool down until November and December. So I agree with you. It does not cool down significantly in September, not much. I mean, if you do get a cool down, it's just for a day or two, but the front that moves through tomorrow will only shave off a few degrees. Nothing significant or major cold. We want it though. Our tropical storm Helene is in the Caribbean Sea between Mexico and Cuba. It is a stronger tropical storm. It's gained some momentum in the last several hours as of the latest advisory. Sustained wind speeds are moving at 60 miles an hour, and you can kind of see it's gaining a better structure to it. Last couple of days, it's just been like clouds, rain, showers, and storms in the Caribbean, but now it's starting to slowly wrap itself around a center of circulation. So this means pretty good rain for Cancun. If you have any friends or family out there, there's some clouds and rain moving towards them as we speak. But this will miss most of Mexico. It'll go through the Caribbean and directly into the Gulf of Mexico, where, by the way, waters are just incredibly warm, and that's just enough to fuel a hurricane for pretty quick intensification. Like Harvey, a lot of hurricanes in the past, they'll emerge in the Gulf and then in 2 days or less become a Cat 3 or Cat 4. And with this storm, Tropical Storm Helene, we're expecting that. So it'll be in the Gulf by tomorrow, probably by tomorrow afternoon, a Category 1. If not tomorrow morning, it might be even sooner than that. But then it'll make landfall sometime Thursday evening as a Category 3. So we'll stop the clock right there. And models are depicting more likely an evening landfall, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, Thursday evening. So a big heads up, if you have any friends or family in this area across Florida, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, this rain, this hurricane will move all the way to the north, and the moisture associated with it will just spread all throughout the southeast. So the Carolinas down to Miami, all going to cash in on at least some rain out there. So it's going to be a little wet for the southeast United States for the next couple of days. Again, it's in the Caribbean right now. It's going to move pretty quickly up farther north, making landfall Thursday night. So in about 2 days, it's already on the doorstep of the Florida Panhandle. Guadalupe, good evening. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a great week as well. And yeah, I mean, for us, we'll be on the western side of the storm, far removed from it, so drier and a little cooler as it helps dislodge, again, slightly cooler temperatures moving towards us Thursday morning and Friday morning, lower to middle 60s. It won't be as cold or as cool as a couple weeks ago, but it'll shave off a few degrees again in the afternoons and mornings for San Antonio. Thursday morning and Friday morning, a little cooler. Here's a model. So this is our in-house IBM high-resolution forecast model. You can see by Thursday lunchtime, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, it is deepening its pressure. It is intensifying rapidly. And again, it's forecasted to be a Category 3. That's winds over 115 miles an hour. And if you're going to Miami and maybe the eastern side of Florida, not much of an impact. It's really the central part of the peninsula towards Tampa Bay, and obviously where it makes landfall near Cedar Key and east of Tallahassee, where the major concerns will be. I mean, we'll see storm surge all the way down to the Florida Keys, but the eastern side of the peninsula won't see much. I mean, you'll see some onshore coastal flooding and maybe a couple of showers and storms, but the heaviest bands of rain will move towards the northern part of the Florida Panhandle. And then as it moves farther north, Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, D.C., the eastern seaboard will get the remnants of Helene. And remember, it's near the Atlantic. It still has access to water, so we'll have to watch by Friday and Saturday for the Northeast if it continues to ramp up and intensify, because sometimes these storms, they start off tropical, they turn into a hurricane, they make landfall, they weaken briefly, but since they're near the Atlantic, the East Coast, they have a moisture source which just fuels the storm even more. And sometimes that can lead to flooding events and heavy rain for the eastern seaboard and up to New York and Boston as well, just depending on the exact track of Helene. So, John, always hot till late October. Yeah, John. You know, average high is like 89, 88 right now, and it cools down a little bit into October, but you don't get consistently cooler air until like November and December, unfortunately. So no, even though fall started, you know, back on Sunday, you know, Texas has other plans in mind. It's just how it is. But at least we have some improvements. I mean, some slightly cooler air will move in again tomorrow. Thursday morning and Friday morning, lower 60s, and then in the afternoons, unfortunately, it's still just hot in the 90s. We want some better weather, but we have to wait probably till the end of October towards November to cash in on that. Again, that's the latest on Tropical Storm Helene. It will become Hurricane Helene, expected to be a Category 3, maybe even a Category 4 at landfall Thursday evening, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the Florida Panhandle. Our forecast stays on the drier side of this hurricane. 94 tomorrow. We go from that to 90 on Thursday. So a few degrees cooler in the afternoons. The most noticeable difference you'll see and feel is when you step out in the mornings. I wouldn't say chilly, but a lot cooler compared to what we've been in the last several days. Lower to middle 70s this morning and tomorrow morning. Middle 60s early Thursday. And a little cooler on Friday morning. So, and again, we saw a model just 10 minutes ago that put a couple of 58s, 59s in the hill country. Kerrville, near Comfort, Bandera towards Fredericksburg, and the farther north you go, obviously the cooler it gets in the mornings, especially with these frontal boundaries moving through. Guadalupe, humidity. Yeah, so this front, the other side of this front moving through, a few degrees cooler in the afternoon and mornings. The mornings will feel great, but also because it pushes out the humidity. This front will push out a lot of the moisture at the surface, and the lows will feel a lot better in the 60s with lower humidity. So yes, the humidity will be pushed out briefly. Probably by Saturday and Sunday it returns. These fronts don't last very long. And by Sunday we're at 95 in the afternoon and about 70 to 71 in the morning. So enjoy Thursday morning, enjoy Friday morning. It'll feel a lot better. Good evening. So no rain here, so I can wash my car. Yeah, I mean, Diane, maybe a small sprinkle overnight and an isolated shower tomorrow, but most of us we'll stay dry tomorrow. You can see the rain chance tomorrow. There you go. Tomorrow, 20%. So not everyone's going to see rain. As a matter of fact, most of us will not see rain. It's just as that front moves through around 2 and 3 o'clock, you see a northerly wind, you feel it, and then you feel a little breezy at times. And sometimes those boundaries, they collide with cooler and humid air. That boundary offers up the division of more warm and cooler air. And that's what helps provide lift and showers around. But let me just show you what that looks like really quickly. So here's a look at a model. Front moves through sometime again, 1, 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow. And I think to the south, towards Pleasanton, Hallettsville, Victoria, Karn City, for example, will have the better shot at seeing a shower or an isolated storm. Will there be 1 or 2 in our area in the city? Yeah, it's possible, but it looks like the more favorable environment, the favorable areas will be south of San Antonio. But, you know, there's a chance for that. Tomorrow afternoon. Storms overnight, though. Grace. No, so I'll show you radar right now. There's one rogue shower, rogue storm out west in Bandera County. But I would say most of us staying dry. So you can see between I-10 and I-35, a lot of action between Rockdale, Giddings, LaGrange, Brenham, I-10. In our area, between Kerrville and rural parts of Bandera County, a couple of downpours moving south. Is there a chance that, you know, we see some, you know, developments? I'm trying to draw something. Let's see if I can do it right here. So there's a lot of moisture moving in from the south. So there is an outside chance we see a stray shower in North Bexar County, but I wouldn't bet on it. Most of it right now is materializing west of I-10 and west of San Antonio. But just because of so much moisture and temperature starting to cool down, we may see a couple of stray showers form near Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, but it's going to be like 20 to 30% overnight. So overnight chances staying relatively low. There's a chance you may hear a rumble of thunder, maybe a few droplets, but you may see a few droplets, but that's pretty much it for the overnight forecast. Tomorrow, highs near 94. It's going to be hot, very summer-like. Just to reiterate, for those who just joined in, front moves through around 2 and 3 o'clock tomorrow. It'll drop highs a few degrees cooler from 94 to 90 on Thursday, 92 on Friday, and 93 on Saturday. So it's not a long-term front. I think the noticeable difference you'll see and feel is in the mornings, middle 60s, about 63 Friday morning, and it pushes out the humidity, and that's what we like to see. So, Grace, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. We'll leave it on the forecast a little longer, guys. Happy Tuesday night. We're 2 down, 3 to go into the weekend. And again, main weather story. It's clear, it's sunny. Small chance at rain overnight. Small chance at rain tomorrow afternoon. 20% chance that happens. And temperatures cool off by a few degrees. It's not going to be a significant cool down. It's not going to be a strong cold front, but it will offer up some relief, moving out the humidity, bringing temperatures down a few degrees. You like to see that. And hopefully in October we get stronger fronts moving in, which is usually what happens. If you remember last Halloween 2023, I remember it being cold in Halloween last year. I think highs were in the 50s Halloween day in 2023. It just shows that we get more frequent cold fronts moving through in October, and then hopefully by sometime in the middle and latter part of next month, we get a stronger front moving in. We'll see, but as a lot of folks have said on this live chat, October, September, despite it being fall, it remains pretty hot, and you can see that in the 2-week forecast. Not 1, but 2. First couple of days of October look to be pretty warm, warmer than average, lower to middle 90s, mostly sunny, with barely any rain chance in sight. So again, guys, just to reiterate, tomorrow, weak front moves through, a little breezy northerly winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour for Wednesday afternoon. Small chance at a passing shower, most of us staying dry. And then with that frontal boundary, that'll drop highs from 94 to 90 on Thursday. But I urge you to look at the morning temperatures. That'll be where you feel it the most. Lower to middle 60s next couple of mornings. Tomorrow morning will be humid, but Thursday and Friday and Saturday will feel a lot better with lower humidity, drier air, and clear skies. Have a wonderful night, guys. Be safe, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock. KENS 5 News at 10 starts in about an hour. Tune in on CBS. We'll be live with another update on the weather, the tropics, What will be Hurricane Helene in the Gulf of Mexico? We'll talk about that on Ken's 5 News at 10. And another look at weather and more local news, sports, everything you need to know around San Antonio. Have a great night, guys. Be safe and have a wonderful week ahead.